Granny Can't Remember Me, a children's book about Alzheimer's. To my mom and my boys whom she loved. My name is Joey. I am 6 years old. I have two grandmas. One is Granny Josie and one is just Granny. Granny Josie lives in Florida. We take an airplane ride to get to her house. She has a big yard with a garden and flowers that aren't for picking. She swims every day in a pool just for grown-ups. She has a cookie jar with oatmeal cookies with raisins. I pick out the raisins. My other granny lives 2 blocks away. We walk to get to her house. Only she doesn't live in a house. She lives in a building with a special lock on the inside. My mom calls this safe. Mom says Granny might wander outside and get lost. I once wandered outside and got lost. Granny loses everything. She loses her glasses. She loses the pictures I draw of whales and penguins. She loses her car keys. Mom says the keys are in a good, safe place. She says the same thing about my pocket knife from Uncle Jim. Granny likes to talk about her dog Pickle. He is big, bigger than me, she says. He is a good swimmer, just like me. He loves to play with balls. I love to play with balls. You'll like Pickle, Granny says, but Granny had Pickle before I was born. I don't tell this to Granny. Granny can't remember me. She doesn't know my name. She can't remember I like soccer and rockets and dogs and that I don't like raisins. I lost my tooth. I scraped my knee. I kicked a goal, but Granny doesn't know. Mom says Granny used to know everything about everything. Now Granny forgets what she ate for lunch, even if it's macaroni and cheese, so I don't ask. Sometimes Granny forgets to smile. Mom says she is still smiling on the inside. Mom says I should tell Granny everything, even if she can't remember and even if she doesn't smile. What Granny can remember is stories from the past. She remembers Mom and Uncle Jim when they were little. She tells me Mom cut Uncle Jim's hair playing barber shop. She tells me they played catch with rocks and Uncle Jim got a bump on his head. She tells me Mom hid her green beans in her napkin. She tells me Mom didn't like raisins. I love Granny's stories. Granny doesn't mind telling them over and over. Granny tells me about when she was a girl. She didn't have any brothers or sisters. I don't have any brothers or sisters. She liked jump rope and crazy eights and jacks. I like jump rope and crazy eights and jacks. Sometimes Granny and I play crazy eights. Granny can't remember eights are crazy, so I always win. Mom brings in picture albums for Granny and me. Granny shows me a picture of Mom when she was 6, with her hair in 2 braids. She shows me Uncle Jim with a bow and arrow and no front teeth. She shows me Mom in a hammock reading a book. Granny shows me a picture of Mom and Dad when they got married. Dad has more hair and Mom isn't wearing glasses. She shows me their first house and their first dog. She doesn't understand when I tell her he's my dog too. Granny's favorite story is her 3 best days. It's my favorite story too. Granny has 3 pictures by her bed that are her 3 best days. One is a picture of Granny holding Mom when she was a baby. That was best day number 1. One is a picture of Granny and Uncle Jim when he was tiny. Best day number 2. Granny reaches out and puts her finger on the 3rd picture. The 3rd picture is her very best day of all. She says her very best day of all was the day this little boy was born. I smile and give Granny a big hug. Granny doesn't know that little boy is me, but I do. Granny can't remember me, but Granny loves me and I love Granny.